Hey, y'all. How are you doing? It is wonderful here. Just in case you were wondering, absolutely wonderful. We are going to be painting I See Your True Colors tonight. I love this one. I could not wait to release it. I could not wait to paint it. I'm super excited. If you cannot tell, I love this one. If you're popping on, tell me who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, are you eating dinner, what's going on in your world. I'm just going to set this right here so I can see all your lovely comments. The studio! Woohoo! Are we in the studio? We shouldn't be in the studio. We should be on Wallace House Designs. Are we? Girls, are we? Just making sure I have everything I need tonight. This is the one thing that I needed that I wasn't quite sure, and it was right there. So y'all, let's get to painting. We're gonna paint the I See Your True Colors tutorial tonight, and I love this one so much. So y'all, let's get into it. I normally paint with a 2-inch brush, and I have one right here, so we're gonna grab that. I just moved everything around. These are Royal Inlay nickel brushes. I absolutely adore them for base coating. I have these, and I have another one. They're technically the same brush, but I love these. These are a brand new pack. It doesn't matter if it is the white bristles, if it is the blue bristles. I don't care if they are green bristles. You're just they're base coat brushes. They don't have to do it pretty. They just have to get the job done, right? Hey, Ashley. Hey, Sherry. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm going to throw that back in there. Getting notified about all the lives from Wallace House Designs. Do y'all see that at the bottom of your screen? Don't hit that X. Hit the blue button that says turn on live notifications. If you have been telling yourself, man, I don't get notifications of when Erica goes live, that's why. Hit the blue button. Hit the blue button. I get a lot of people saying, I swear I have the notifications on, but I don't see when you're live. It doesn't notify me. I bet you if it's asking you to hit the blue button, it's because Facebook somehow changed your settings for you. All right, so let's get to painting. Hold on, my blue don't want to. There we go. Y'all, this is a bright, and when I say bright navy blue, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but it is bright. I don't know if it's not going to do it justice. It's right there. Oh, man. It's a bright. So we're going to ghost it out with some white. We don't want it to be that bright. We're going to do a half and half mixture of that blue, which is Deco Art. We're using all Deco Art paint. So let me go ahead and tell you what we're using. We're using white. We're using black. So black is just the regular lamp black, okay? Or ebony black, whichever one. I believe there's two, or maybe it's called lamp black ebony. I put it in a big old bottle, so I never remember what the actual name is. But it's Deco Art Black. I buy it in the big 16-ounce can or 8-ounce can. We're using True Red. We are using Laguna. We're using Ultra Blue Deep. I don't use this one often, but when I do, I absolutely love it. But I usually have to add some white to it to tone it down because it is I'm telling you, it's a weird concept, but it is bright for a navy blue. And then I found a bottle in my stash, y'all, Banana Cream. It's my favorite yellows, never let me down. Banana Cream. I have noticed though, if you're wanting a yellow that covers well and isn't eye-searingly bright, because there is a couple of yellows in the Deco Art line, but they're bright. And so if you're wanting like a nice banana yellow, Banana Cream, no pun intended, and Sunny Day, my two favorite yellows of all time that will not frustrate you to no end to use. I ordered 2 Autism Templates today, and I'm so excited to do them. Y'all, autism awareness is really near and dear to my heart. My family has lived its entire life on the spectrum. We have lived with, I can say in 33 years of my entire life, I have lived with knowing someone and loving someone on the spectrum, who lives a life on the spectrum. And I won't go into details or anything because that's not my business. You know, I live advocating for them, and that's all they need to know. I'm not going to go you know, saying who it is or how many, because I am a firm believer that unless it's your child, and even if it is your child, you never know. That's their business. And so I'm a firm believer in supporting, especially the mamas out there that have children who have been diagnosed with autism or a form of autism as Asperger's or anything like that. I am a firm believer in supporting them because that is a hard job. Hard job. I'm just base cutting. That's why we're going to spend some face time real quick. Here, I could do this. Where y'all can see a little bit and I can peek down. Okay, so we're going to do this. And I'm telling you, that's a hard job. And I love, okay, so I am going to be very careful. I'm probably going to bump down in brush size when I get to the actual puzzle pieces, because with the yellow, the yellow one in the middle, I want to be very careful about how much blue, since this is a very pigmented and saturated blue, I know for a fact it may change the color once I seal with yellow. So once I paint over the blue with yellow and then I go to throw a sealer on it, it may bleed through. This is one of those colors you can't predict. You can't predict if it's going to ruin at the end of the night. Because, you know, there's some of them like reds and whites that don't like to play nice together with the sealer. And sometimes it's the sealer's fault and sometimes it's the red and white. I mean, you just can't predict it. So I'm lazy painting this background on. You notice I'm not putting a very easy coat of the blue and the white. I'm just slapping it on. I literally put blue and white half and half on my brush, and I'm just letting it fall wherever it falls. And I'm just blending it in with the brush strokes. And then if it gets kind of meh, just add a little water to your brush. If it's getting kind of like Morse code, if the paint is kind of skipping like a rock over water, add a little water to your brush, just the very tips, and start blending it that way. It'll help spread that paint without completely blending the colors in. Because that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to blend them completely. I want that Morse code, kind of a hazy background kind of a look. Because we're going to do some buffalo plaid on this, y'all. And that's going to actually be to our benefit that it's kind of like that. Because if we get any bleed through with us doing our background like this, when we do our buffalo plaid, then you're not going to be able to tell because the background's not a solid color. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and retire that one to the water, and I'm going to pull Old Trusty out. These are all Royal and Lane Nickel brushes, okay? So Old Trusty is my very used and abused 3/4 inch flat. And I'm going to continue on with picking half white, half blue up on my brush. And now this is where I told you I don't want to get... Usually I just kind of slap that base coat on, and I don't really care about how much it goes over the line of what I call the statement pieces or the focal pieces, which are these puzzle pieces here. But this tonight we will, because this is a very saturated blue. I have a mama in my life that has been, and it has been a hard... Yes, it has been a hard thing in their life. I'm telling you. And I was telling one of my friends is a high school teacher. And she's a high school teacher for a local, it's a public school, but it's one of those charter schools where you have to test to get in. And a lot of her students are on the spectrum. And a lot of them are Asperger's. And so she's just through the years of working directly with these children, she has grown a heart for them. And and because she knows that I've lived my entire life in direct care of somebody that, you know, as a kid, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like, it wasn't until I was an adult that was explained to me that, oh, you know, so-and-so, that's why so-and-so is the way they are. And I'm like, oh, I had no clue. So she says that she had grown an appreciation for especially the parents. And a lot of times it's the mama, you know. So there are some amazing dads out there that really hold that special place in that child's or that person's heart. And a lot of times it's the mama, and it's a hard job. And I've told her, I was like, look, there is no love that is more true in I mean, obviously Jesus is love, but no human love that is more true and more like stronger than the love that someone who is diagnosed with autism is to the person that they are loyal to. Because a lot of times they cling to a person. They cling because they trust. And it's really hard for them to lay trust into somebody because their feelings are so strong. And you would never know because it's really hard for them to relay those messages because of the characteristics that come along with autism. If they are verbal, it's very hard for them to relay, especially visually, for you to read their face. It's really hard. You know how we have, and you know me, I've got all the facial expressions for everybody in the room, but it's very hard for them to relay those messages specifically visually for you to kind of understand where they're sitting right then and there in their thought process. So I said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, love is the deepest for the person that they trust most. And there is no, I mean, they would literally move mountains for the person that they have attached to or the person that they trust the most. And it is the most beautiful thing that I have ever witnessed in my life to watch people who live the life on the spectrum and defend or to love and dote and all for the person that they trust most. And a lot of times you never even realize that that's what's going on because they really don't know how to relay that kind of stuff like we do. So I am, like I said, I am a firm advocate for autism awareness. And like I said, this was one of the weeks that I understand it's not technically a holiday, but I love spreading the awareness for it. I love bringing attention to it. If you've ever heard of a foundation called Autism Speaks, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so we're about to turn the camera completely down now that we got the background down. So all I did was I took a 2-inch brush and I dipped half and half ultra deep blue and white. Now this blue is about half as bright as it's natural straight out the bottle. So ultra deep blue and white deco art, and I just kind of let them fall wherever the brush let them fall. All right, so now let's go ahead and tilt the camera down. I'm gonna get caught up on these comments here in just a second when we get to blow drying, so you do not worry, I haven't forgotten about y'all. Okay, next month is Autism Awareness Month, which is why I released them this month. That way you would have your templates this month to prepare for Autism Awareness Month. So if y'all wanted to have paint parties, there are many autism support groups in your local area. I promise there are many autism support groups in your area, because I know in our area, for one, we have 2 that I'm a part of. Let's see. I'm guessing it's because Daddy is gone working all day. Uh-oh. Oh, yes. No, Ashley, yes. She has a household that lives on the spectrum, and she and I have talked about it many times. Let's see. Hey, girl. Hey, Megan. How are you? Hey, Cherish. So smart. What? Oh, who did something smart? See, that's why if I don't, Ash, thank you. I picked up a golden yellow from Walmart apple barrel, and I'm not liking it. Nope. I'm telling you, banana cream is the way to go, but I think it's out of production right now until they get back to their full lineup. Right now, I think the one that they have in production for yellow is called Sunny Day. And both Apple Barrel and Deco Art have a Sunny Day, and they're both amazing. Both amazing. But if you have any trouble with yellows, lay down a white, a cream, Those two are the really good colors for base coats for yellows. Oh, yes. Okay, so Ashley, I bet you it is because she misses him. I bet you it's because that she feels like he's not coming back. And then when he does show up, she is like, "Yay, you're back." So I'm just blow drying this. I want to make sure it's nice and completely dry. I'm going to be adding an extra step. So the original template is just buffalo plaid in the back. But there were two templates that were released today, and we kind of bounced between the two in the comments on which one y'all wanted to see painted. And I'm going to take the aspect of the other one, which was the outer space one, the I Love You to the Moon and Back, which was the splatter paint. We're going to add some splatter paint to this buffalo plaid. So for everyone who was wanting to see that technique, we are going to do it tonight. Oh, thank you for sharing, Cherish. You are an amazing person. Thank you. That makes me happy. That makes me want to do a little happy dance. Okay, so I've got, yep. Okay, so if you ever wonder if your paint is completely dry, I mean bone dry, feel it. See, I live in Louisiana, so mine will still, even when it's dry to the touch, it will feel humid. It will feel kind of tacky, even though I'm not getting any paint on my hands. Like right here, it feels tacky. Another way you can tell if you're not in a humid, or, you know, this one works for both climates, if it feels kind of cold. If it feels kind of chilly, it's not going to feel ice cold. It's just going to feel a little chilly to the touch. You'll find some hot spots and you'll find some cold spots, and you'll be able to tell the difference of where it's cold and where it's hot. Like right here, which is the last place we painted, it feels a little cold. So we're just going to do that. It doesn't have to be completely bone dry. It does help. So what I normally do when I have to do a buffalo plaid on an order, I will come do my base coat. I'll go prep dinner. I'll come back, and then it should have been gone long enough for it to dry by itself. Okay, so let's lay down our painter's tape. So first, we're going to do the buffalo plaid. Then we're going to do our splatter paint. All right, so we're just going to eyeball this buffalo plaid. Okay. Y'all, I moved my paint desk. I moved my entire studio around to where the paint desk is now, say it was a north and a south kind of thing, where my paint desk used to be on the south end of the studio. Now it's on the north end. It's now on the complete opposite end of the room, which means I had to shimmy it all the way across the room. And now it doesn't sit flat on the ground. So I got to figure out what's going on to where it's not sitting flat on the ground. It's not the floor itself. It's something about the desk itself. Something's not sitting right. That's not very sharp. I stuck this down way too. In the house, I have this little tool that I got from the Dollar Tree that helps me pry tape up for when I mask things for the laser. And I don't have one of those in here. I probably should get one. There we go. I always try to leave the corners kind of loose whenever I do my spacer tapes. But I accidentally smoothed that one smooth down, and I didn't mean to. Okay, here we go. Just take my spacers up so I don't smooth it down by accident again. Okay, now I'm going to do one here at the very top and one here at the very bottom. Now this is where it's going to get kind of technical when I go to... I technically didn't need that big long piece, but because it ventures multiple places, I wanted to make sure it stayed straight. So I'm just going to put my spacers over here because I'm going to need them again when I do my east to west stripes, because these are my north and south. I'm just going to give it a nice little... I'm going to pull my baby wipes out. You can do this with a good quality damp paper towel, or I have even used, oh gosh, what is it? Old washcloths. I have, if y'all know me, I use dish towels. Oh gosh, that was gonna. All right, so I'm just dipping half and half in the aquamarine, the deep ultra blue deep. That is such a strange name. It really is. Decor comes with some pretty names, and then they come like lavender. Y'all know me. That lavender makes me giggle every time. I'm adding more white because I want it to be lighter than the background itself. So I want it to be lighter than this. I want this to be the darkest shade that we end up with. Sorry, I ran out of blue, so I had to pour some more. Okay. So I have white and blue, and I'm just going to smear it on. My hair got in it. My hair falls. I should have 0 hair on my head. My hair falls out at a ridiculous rate. I swear I should have 0. Okay, so we're just going to smooth it on until we're happy with the color. I am going to peek because I want to see if it's any... It's really not any different. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back with the blue. We're going to make them darker. There we go. I went straight blue. I had a feeling that it wasn't going to get any lighter because we did a half and half. A lot of times when you do a half and half mixture, you're going to have to mix completely a lighter shade, because doing the baby wipe method, you're very rarely going to get a shade that's going to be different when you mix half and half, especially when you're putting half and half on your baby wipe. The math doesn't add up. So there we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. So I'm just doing, if you can see that, I did about 3/4 of the blue and just a little pickup of the white, just because I do want that. I want a little bit of that white streaking through because that's the look that we have going. You can definitely do just a straight buffalo plaid, a solid background, and then put your painter's tape down and mix a different shade of your blue and do a solid line. And then with your east and west stripes, do another different shade of your blue. Because that's technically what we're doing here, is we're just mixing different shades. But you know me, I like the heathered look in my paint. So I'm just adding that extra little oomph of texture with my baby wipe by not completely mixing a brand new shade of paint. Okay, I'm just going to do this little corner right there, because since it's a teeny tiny little corner, we don't need to forget it. And this is where it's going to get hairy, as my mama would say. It's like, oh, I got a little hairy there. Okay. I'm just being I call this fussy painting. If we were doing any kind of paperwork with scissors and cutting something very specific out of a print, it would be called fussy cutting. So this is what I call fussy painting. So I'm just fussy painting around this very specific shape and not getting any of this blue specifically on this one, because that's yellow and it's going to turn it slap green whenever we go to seal it. There we go. There we go. I want to pick up just a little bit more blue. And before I pick up this painter's tape, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry. Y'all, look at my hands will be stained. I probably will have blue Smurf hands for a day or two. Are you loving this, Cherish? Hey, Wanda. Wanda, did you get my message? Thank you, Maria. Maria just sprinkled some glitter out into the interwebs. Oh, Cherish. I just love your teething. Thank you. It does look like a sky, doesn't it? I like the fact that when you do door hangers this way, no two look exactly alike. Hold on. I've got to get a lot of this blue off before it does. I'm just dipping my hands in my paint water. There we go. There we go. It's probably going to stain my cuticles, but that's okay. At least we won't have blue fingertips. All right, so now that we've blow dried this, we're still going to have to blow dry that again. Let's see. I don't think it changed it much. Yeah, it did. Okay. I'm probably going to I'm going to lay this back down. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit more white. Right here. There's not much of a transition. There we go. There we go. That's going to look a lot better. Ta-da! Let's see. Oh, yeah. See, they're kind of ghosted. Y'all know me with my ghosted polka dots and ghosting out paint colors. They're very similar in shade, but because we added the original stripes are half and half, white and blue. And I just lazy painted it on there. That means I just slapped them down half and half on the brush and let the brush do the work. I did not try to make a completely new shade. I made a very heathered look. Then I laid down my painter's tape, okay? And I did the exact same process with the new stripes, except for I did about 3/4 of the blue and 1/4 of the white. Again, 3/4 of that brush was, or really it was a baby white, but if it was a brush, it would have been 3/4 of the brush bristles covered in the blue and just the corner in the white, just to change it ever so slightly. Let's blow dry it one last time before we lay our painter's tape down again. We are getting ready for this splatter paint. Wanda, no, I sent you a message today, and I saw your little bubble. Your little bubble saw it. It had a bunch of links in it. I'm trying to help Wanda with a new a PayPal button. Show her how to use PayPal buttons. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go like this, and we're going east and west now. We went north and south, so now we're going east and west. And I'm just reusing the same tape because these are going to be nice little short little pieces. And because our background is so scattered, no one's ever going to tell that anything bled. They're going to have to get, like right here, it bled a little bit. They're never going to notice that. It's the only spot that it bled. That's because I picked it up and I didn't like the way it looked, so I relayed it back down on top of wet paint, and that you're really not supposed to do that. I kind of expected it to bleed right there. Okay, so you don't see me smoothing down each piece of tape as I lay it down, right? I'm going to do all that at the exact same time towards the end. That's just wasting time. Y'all know me. I like to try and get it done as fast as I can, but get it done right. So I'm going to do that. I just kind of press it down in the center with a finger press, and then I come back and I will smooth them down as I go. Because me smoothing them down now, they're naturally going to release up anyways, because this stuff is still really wet. And painter's tape was not meant to adhere to wet. It was not meant to stay on wet paint. Its whole job was to keep wet out, right? So it doesn't bleed underneath. All right, we're completely done with that. All right, so now here we go. Now I'm still gonna have to press them down one at a time as I do the baby wipe method. I am gonna turn my door hanger towards me because I do wipes better towards me, just like I do with my brush strokes. My arm naturally wants to pull towards me. I'm going to put a new petal of the Ultra Blue Deep and a new petal of white. Okay, so we did half and half, 3/4. Let's do it the other way around. Let's do primarily white and just a little bit of blue. Let's try that. All this right here is white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press this down. I'm going to press this down. Okay. Oh yeah, this is going to be pretty. So I'm picking up mostly white and just a little bit of blue. It's going to be pretty. Okay. Oops, I accidentally picked up blue first. I need to pick up white first. So it is Tuesday night. What are y'all doing tonight? From Oklahoma. Hello, Rhonda. How are you? Oh. Wanda's like, oh yeah, you mean that. Yeah, I got that. Well, good, because I was worried about it because you didn't respond, which I don't require a response, y'all. I'm just giving Wanda a hard time. Me and Wanda are friends. You didn't respond. I was really worried. I was like, okay, so if I need to explain this, let me know. Of course, my day got kind of hijacked anyways. One of my closest friends messaged me last night, and I didn't respond to her. So I say that jokingly, but I did it to one of my closest friends. She responded. I was just so tired, and I saw her message come through, and mentally I respond. Have you ever mentally responded to something, and then the next day you find out, oh crap. Well, I mean, just know I did tell you. I just didn't tell you. So she asked me if she works a consignment shop here it's a pop-up shop for kids' clothing. And y'all know me, I've got a toddler. And of course, I have a 13-year-old, but he's man-sized, so there's nothing there for him. But I have a toddler who loves to dress up and loves to change her clothes 5,000 times a day. And she's hit a growth spurt. So we were kind of within sizes, in between sizes. And she says, hey, it's open tomorrow. Do you want to come after my shift? Because she works it. I'm going to come after my shift and we'll get the girls' clothing. My daughter and her daughter are like they are best friends. And I was like, sure. In my mind. I didn't type sure. Let me just put it that way. Well, this morning I wake up to a text of, are we okay? Turns out this is the second message that I have mentally responded to and just didn't get back to her. All right. So when Wanda didn't respond to me this morning, I was like, oh no, I hope I didn't upset her. All right, so hold on. I forgot to paint this blue, but guess what? Since we did buffalo plaid, I'm just going to take my baby wipe and put a nice little heathered dab right there. No one's ever going to connect the dots on that. Do we see that? Do y'all, look at that. Okay, so here's the fun part. Okay, so if we were, let me get my phone out of the way. Hold on. If we were doing splatter paint on any texture, on any surface, there are many ways to do splatter paint. A lot of people use a toothbrush. I don't like dealing with the mess on my hands with a toothbrush. I mean, look at how messy my hands already get. I don't want to deal with intentional mess up my fingernails and in my cuticles. That's what a toothbrush does, okay? We're going to put a little bit of each of the colors of the what's that thing called? Puzzle piece. So the yellow, the blue, and the yellow, the teal, and the red. Okay. There's the yellow. Remember, we're using Banana Cream, True Red, and Laguna. All deco art. Okay. I'm just shaking them up real good because we did have a nice long freeze here just a couple weeks ago, and my paints took a toll because they sit outside. All right, here we go. I am going to water this down. We're going to start with the yellow. I'm going to water some of that down. My water is dirty, so y'all don't judge. But you're not going to tell in this splatter paint. So I've got watered down paint on this brush. There's no paint, no water on this brush. I'm going to put the no paint brush horizontal in front of me. I'm going to take the paintbrush. I'm going to lightly tap. And you just tap to your liking. This is the worst splatter that is the splatter around. I usually paint, if I'm painting on a surface that I don't want paint on, I usually paint with craft paper down. This is I can throw some Windex on here and it cleans the paint right up. So there's the yellow. I'm going to clean that brush again. I'm going to leave this brush alone. And it gets on my arms. And it gets on my clothes. But it's not horrible. So I have an apron on, so I don't care if it gets on my clothes. It's only gotten up to here on my arm, right? I'm not too worried about it. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to completely wring out my brush again because remember, we want the water. I'm going to go for the red. This is true red. I'm watering it down. I mean, it's really watery. And I only did a little bit. I didn't water down a whole heck of a lot of paint because I'm going to need that paint, right? Here's the red. I'm not going to do as much of the red as I did the yellow. I just want a little speckle of it. I want the yellow to be the showcase there, okay? Because it's the biggest contrast. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. Take my brush out of the water. Come over to the teal or the turquoise, whatever you want to call this. Okay, I'm going to brush most of it off. Super, super watered down Laguna. Remember, you're not going to be able to see a whole lot of this, but it is going to make a difference. I need a little bit more. And if you want to make it real central on where you turn it sideways and it'll spray just this way. But if you do it flat on flat, it will go this way. All right, done. Now we're going to blow dry that. Oh, really? See, Deidre, doesn't it make a big difference? It's so cool. Hey, Michaela, did you get it from the Dollar Tree? I've been looking at that. Tell me if you like it or not. All right, so I'm just blow drying this splatter paint. And like I said, each color of and they'll pop more once we get the colors laid down here. But we've got the yellow, we've got the red, we've got the teal or turquoise, whatever color you want to call that. Now, let's go ahead and get over here. This one's red. Let's go ahead and paint that one because it's furthest in the back. I'm going to pull a, what size? That's too little. Let's pull a 1/2 inch. Actually, what is this? This is a 5/8 angle brush. And I'm going to go ahead and put a nice, look at that. That's blue. That should be blue. We're just going to take our baby wipe. Do that. I'm going to do this. I pulled an angle brush. Oh, you know what? This is the pain of a designer. I just realized a flaw in this design. What colors don't like to play well together? I mean, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to attempt it. Red and white. What color are the letters in this design? I do this all the time. And it upsets me when I finally go to paint it and I tell myself I have to change something. Let's see. We're going to paint this red. So I picked an angle brush because the angle brush likes to get in nice and tight on these curved edges by turning it up on the chisel or using one of the 2 points, because you get 2 points with an angle brush. You get the long point or the short point, the toe, the heel, the front, the back, whatever you want to call it. People call them different things. go. We're just doing a nice little base coat. We will come back and do a little bit of highlight in here. Okay, so right here, I'm going to use the heel, which is the short end, the back end as I like to call it. And I'm just kind of tracing around this puzzle piece, okay? Now, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, just a little bit. Not a lot. Just going to add it to my brush. And I'm going to go across like this. I'm going to go in the very... I'm just going to go across like that and start just kind of mixing it in. I don't want the entire piece to be this nude shade. I'm just kind of picking curves. Just kind of picking curves and making sure that there's no harsh white streaks. I'm just kind of blending that white in there to where it creates almost as if this puzzle piece was a bubble. You know, on a bubble or a bubble letter or bubble balloons, those Mylar balloons that you get for birthdays, the big numbers, there's the part where the light hits it the most curved parts, they light up a little bit. The light catches them just right to where they light up just a little bit. Y'all, speaking of birthdays, we have Miss Jerry Thompson, who likes to hop on here almost every time that I paint. She had a birthday yesterday, so if y'all wouldn't mind telling Miss Jerry happy birthday, I would appreciate it. She is a near dear friend. And she does a lot for our paint community. She likes to help us out with good tips and tricks. She's so smart. Whenever some of us are like, I wonder what we could do to fill in the blanks, she normally has a very reasonable answer for how you can construct something, how you can take your scraps, how you can take anything that you've got, and she can tell you how to fix your very technical problem. She's so smart. She amazes me. Okay, so we're going to skip this real quick because we should be doing some polka dots, right? But I want this to dry. There we go. We're going to let that dry because right there, it's still very wet. Right here, it's still very wet. So I'm going to start working on this puzzle piece, but I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. What's that? That song started from the bottom, now we're here. That all the kids like to sing. I guess they don't sing it anymore. That's from when I was a kid. I guess they ain't singing it anymore, Erica. Stop it. You're telling your age. I think, what was his name? Drake? I'm playing. I know exactly who it was. Just try not to tell my age. Okay, banana cream. That's, oh, and I still, look, red. I'm telling you, see that red that's ventured? It likes to hide in the brush. I could have sat this down for days. Come back, that red was still going to creep in here. So I'm going to go ahead and empty my brush out. Nice little coral color. See if I can clean my brush a little better. Said I was going to start from the bottom. I lied. This part is dry. That part is not. So we're going to continue here. Now, the trick that we just did with the red, we really can't do with the yellow because this is a pastel. I'm telling you, it is like the devil's giggle at painters. I mean, the devil has a little giggle, and it's this. Hiding paint in your brush just to make you frustrated is one of the things that truly does frustrate me when I paint. I'm like, where did you come from? All right, so I'm going to skip that real quick because it is still really wet, but the rest of it's really dry. I promise you, if this was an order, it wouldn't have done that because I paint my orders pretty slow. because I don't take very many. I have very limited spots on how many custom orders I can do. Because I end up painting more live. And I'll tell you a secret. I don't paint as well live as I do sitting at the comfort of my own kitchen table and taking my time. So my live paintings aren't my best work. You can't tell because of the magic of the camera. It is just forgiving enough to where it hides all the imperfections that I see right here in front of my face. So if you ever go Facebook Live, if you ever go live, just know what you see is not what they see 100%. Know that the camera does offer a little bit of grace. Not complete forgiveness, but a little bit of grace. Okay, look! I'm telling you, the devil's giggle at painters. That's how he gets his giggles in. It really frustrates me. Oh, look at all the birthdays for Jerry. Love how the camera does that, right? Oh man, it's such a good grace and a mercy that I feel like us painters need sometimes. Uh-oh, that got wet on my paint. There we go. Just finished a paint party. Love that you have these designs. Yes, Erica, these are some of my favorite designs of the year. Can I say that again? Of the year. And y'all know how much I love Christmas. Of the year. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another coat of this yellow. It doesn't need much. It just needs kind of literally half a coat. It doesn't even need a whole coat. So the little trick that we did, this is such a pastel color. I mean, it's so pastel already that there's not much work to be done on this. We're just going to go straight to polka dots, because if we were to sit here and shade like we did over here, it would be work in vain. It wouldn't benefit any because it's so ghosted out already. It has so much white as its base that you wouldn't tell much of a difference. Now, if you wanted, you could take a little bit of another color. I mean, you can actually take some of that teal that's going to be put in here and do a little bit of messy painting in there just to add a little bit of a swoosh of something if you wanted to. I'm not, because I've already got a lot going on over here. So I'm just going to leave the yellow. We are going to do some polka dots. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Remember, there's always that one step that takes it too far, and you need to know your limits. And I am admitting that is my limit. Okay. See, I'm not being super precise because I already did a really nice, good coat of this yellow. Okay. Perfect coverage. Love this yellow. Deco art, we need it back in the lineup. We need it. Can I have my banana cream back, please? I miss it so much. Can I tell y'all a secret? I picked up some new deco art paints today that were released, and I cannot wait to show you how they work. They're really cool. Marie's class is over and she was able to come hang out with us. How on earth did you get the red on so good with only one coat? Cherish, my dear. Cherish, my dear. I'm telling you. You think it went on good in one coat. What happened was it went on decent in one coat. That little bit of white that I went in and shaded, that helps spread it out and really smooth it out. It was still really good and wet. So that's what makes it, That's what gave the illusion that it went on good. Not all reds are created equal, even in DecoArt's line. Real talk, how hard would it be to cut this on a scroll saw? Not hard at all. Let me tell you the hardest part right here. Right here. Because all this is, if you were putting this on a scroll saw, think of your scroll saw as a sewing machine. We've all had home ec. We've all touched a sewing machine at least once of our lives, all right? So you're going to go, and it's going to go in, boom. And then here, that's where it's going to get kind of weird, but it's not hard at all. So what I would do is I would cut all this out. I would cut the entire easy part, the external part of the shape out. And then I would cut all this, like I would probably just kind of oval this out, okay? And I would fussy cut each piece, each dip one at a time. And it would actually go pretty fast. This one would not, I try my hardest to keep things from being super hard to cut. I really do. I take that into consideration. Every once in a while, a design is just that good and I can't add anything to it to make it easy. And so every once in a while, it's very rare that something is so difficult and I leave it there. Because I do want everybody, no matter what their method of cutting is, to be able to cut this out without having to work extremely hard. Now, there are a couple of designs that I just recommend having a generic base shape that is your go-to shape. I recommend an oval. I recommend a round, and I recommend some form of a frame. Have those three in your back pocket and size your template down just a little bit and make it the center of that base shape. And that way you're not having to fussy cut so many random little turns. And I used to do it with mason jars that had bouquets on the top. Those are the things I hated cutting the most. And I don't know why. Cutting around leaves got me. So I would just shrink it down just a little bit. I always bought the JPEG. If they were separate like the way I list them, I always bought the JPEG and I always made my own template because I wanted, if it was a hard shape to cut with the jigsaw, I wanted to be able to taper it down just a little bit and put it inside of a base shape somehow. Something that was simple to cut. All right, let's pull out our turquoise, our teal. I think it's a teal. Okay, let's pull our 5/8, our medium size orange brush. If we were at a paint party, that's what I would tell you. Get your medium size orange brush. And we're just gonna go ahead and base coat that on there. Now this one, we can do the little white trick. Add a little bit of white for shading. It's really highlighting, it's not really shading, because we're putting white. I swear if the red makes an appearance in this one, I'm gonna have to stop and say a little prayer because apparently the devil is after me. And we're gonna have to involve Jesus in it. Okay. I'm just concentrating on these corners. I don't know why I got quiet. I started hearing the crickets and I was like, oh no, literal crickets outside. Chirping. Okay. Now this is DecoArt Laguna. Anybody put puzzles together? These are my favorite. I love the end pieces. You start with them. They create the border. Come on. There's got to be just enough in there. There we go. I'm going to have to lay that on its side so when I go to do polka dots, I can get enough out to ghost out some polka dots. I'm almost tempted to skip the polka dots just because we did the splatter paint, but I'm not going to because I love the polka dots in these. Okay, so here we go. I almost threw that in my drinking water. That would have been crickets chirping is heaven to my ears, means out with the cold and in with the warm. Yes, Lori. I am all for it. All right, so I have 3 sponges that have been sitting in a Ziploc bag. Whenever I get done, if I'm not close to a sink, I have a Ziploc bag that I just throw them in. If you can't tell, there's already been one time where I didn't get it to a bag fast enough. So this side is pretty much done. I know how to revive it. I can revive it. It's at a point where it's not so bad I can't revive it. But it's not ideal. It's kind of crunchy. We will be using it tonight, so I'll show you how bad, because we do have red going on. So let's go ahead and put white next to all of our colors. Let me show you what I've done here. I've got red, I've got white. I just picked up a little bit of both. Let me get another plate. I'm going to sit here and do this a couple times. I'm going to make sure I turn it all the way around. Okay. I am going to get some painter's tape. A lot of times I'll use a Post-it note, or I'll use some scrap paper that's around me just so I can pick up real quick. But because I don't have any Post-it notes in here, I'm just going to do it this way. I just want to avoid there is one soft spot, and I'm making sure that it gets all the way around. Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to put it? Right here. There we go. You can definitely use your paintbrush to paint these polka dots. They do not have to be perfect. I don't want a huge polka dot there. Just want a little corner of one. Same thing with right here. Just want a little corner of one. Just the little glimmer of one. There we go. Okay, good enough. I'm gonna put that painter's tape away. Now, since there's paint on this, but I'm gonna flip it over and use this side. This is why I love these sponge daubers. These are Aunt Martha Stewart's sponge daubers. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this yellow, but I'm gonna put more white. We're gonna have to use a good bit of white to make these yellow polka dots stand up. So I've got that much. I'm just gonna do the same trick. I'm just turning it around. There's a little bit of blue. I accidentally picked up a little blue, but I'm going to leave it because it's going to create that definition. Because oh, look right there. We're going to put a polka dot right there. Look, I'm going to hide that. Okay. Let's see, I want one right here. Oh, this is gonna be the hard part right here. There we go. Okay, so this needs to dry. I'm just getting it on the very edge. There we go. Oh, we picked up a little red with that. I'm kind of liking it. I'm gonna leave it alone. There we go. Just gonna smooth that out a little bit. You know what we forgot? And I'm not even gonna attempt it. Look, okay, so look, wet. Put that away. This will keep it, if you're at a paint party, have Ziploc bags with you. It keeps things wet so that when you get home, you can thoroughly clean out your good stuff, like your Martha Stewart sponge daubers. All right, so now we've got a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the white. There's a lot of water in this. So I just need to know not to press down so hard because there is a lot of water in this. There we go. Ooh, I love that one. That one's pretty. Okay. We're going to leave the rest of it alone. Okay. So look. Tape is out of the way. We're putting this back in here. And I will take these in with me when I go back into the house and wash them out thoroughly. Okay. How are we hanging in there? Why is there a bare spot in the red piece? Right there? Because that's where the S goes and I see your true colors. So I just didn't even worry about it. Here, we can fix it. It might make a difference when we go to... There we go. Just used our little concealer trick. Where we just kind of dab it on with our finger and it kind of blends it in. But it's not going to be seen. Okay, so far it looks like a hot mess, but it's going to be a beautiful one. I need to have more confidence in my shading. Cherish, come on now. Break out your flat brushes and your angle brushes and just practice. Grab you a scrap piece of cardboard, or if you have a mixed media pad, just go to town. Pick you 2 colors and just blend until your heart's content. And then when you're happy with it, start adding more. That's how I started. You know, just kind of playing around with things, not even really intentionally painting anything. I just had a piece of cardboard out and I just started blending with I started with flat brushes and then I moved to angles because you have to hold it differently with an angle brush. I love splatter painting. Thank you, Marie. Yes, that was my favorite part so far. Oh, I've been looking and trying to figure it out. Cherish, you just hang out here and I'll teach you how. I do it lazy though. You're not going to learn proper here. I'm self-taught and I've been painting since I was little, and it's always been a form of therapy. Like if I was painting, it's because my brain was working so much that I needed a physical slowdown. So I would break out some paint. Sometimes I would scrapbook, but I would physically stop, start painting, and it would give me that rhythmic breathing, and it would give me that okay to sit and just be still and not focus on what's in my head, but to focus on this instead. And so it just all kind of just started falling together. I would watch other people and I would kind of adapt one little thing that they had and one little thing that she had and one little trick that she had, and I just started hodgepodging it together. Oh, I love lazy. Girl, me too. It shouldn't be hard. If it's hard, it's not enjoyable. I want it to be easy. I want instant gratification. I want to see the end result in one sitting. I just started in August and it has helped my mental health a lot. Yes. I love how much art can be its own little form of therapy. Okay, so let's work on these letters because that's the next step. Let's work on our letters. I'm actually going to break out a brush and we're going to do some brush lettering. I'm going to break out the little yellow brush. It's the little filbert. No, I'm lying. Let's do it this way. I'm going to break out the little flat brush and then we'll come back with the filbert and fill in spots. Okay, so I want to go ahead and do a base coat of black because I'm really worried about this blue and this red bleeding. We're going to do our lettering twice, but it's not going to take a whole lot of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill things in with black. So I'm doing all the downstrokes and all the thick parts first. Since our lettering is white, I want to make sure that we have a nice base coat that's not going to bleed through. And this black will not. And if it does, it'll bleed through evenly. I'm afraid since this ultra blue deep, whatever that's supposed to mean, is so saturated and so pigmented, I'm afraid that the white will discolor when we go to seal it. So we're just going to play it safe. Even if our black ends up smearing into some of our white, I'm going to be okay with that. As ultra blue deep, I'm going to be ultra okay with it. Okay. Let's see. An easy way to do a drop shadow with your paintbrush is to do it this way, is to go down all the downstrokes and paint those in with black, and then come back and throw your focal color, the actual font color, on top. There we go. If you're asking questions in the comments, don't worry. I will definitely get back to you. When I go to do lettering, I tend to hyper focus on them, because I am not the best at hand lettering. So since we'll be doing this twice, there we go. Go across. So I'm using this flat brush just to get good wide coverage. It has a perfect width of some of these letters to where I can get them in just one stroke. And if I need to thicken it up, it's just literally not even a half a stroke. So these letters are going down really fast. The only parts that I haven't painted yet are the ones that are going east to west, because they're a lot thinner. And I want to break out that filbert brush to get those taken care of. So like this right here, I'm going on the chisel and I'm coming back down on the flat. I'm not using much pressure at all. Have y'all seen the new studio setup in here? I worked very hard in here over the weekend trying to get it all set up the way I like it. I was tired of not being in here because of the weather and because of how cold it is and just all the things. And finally, the weather's been nice enough to where I can be in here during the day and it's not detrimental to my health. So, and where it's not so cold that you can get hypothermia. So I have been spending every second I can out here trying to get it ready for spring. And I think I did it. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I didn't add a lot. I added a desk behind me because I didn't like how bare the wall was behind me. And I added my Christmas. I love having my Christmas tree year round. And in the house, I give Mr. Wallace a break from Christmas, and we take the Christmas tree down at a decent date. You know, it's sometime in January. He has to deal with it till January, but I do take it down. And I have found the loophole. I have a Christmas tree. I actually have two in here. A little 2-foot tree and a little, I think it's 5 foot. A little 5-foot tree. And I've just been decorating those. And it's been so much fun to take my things that we've just accumulated over the years and just call them tree decorations. Like right now, I just have some flowers. Some flowers that I've just kind of had for taking pictures of my door hangers. And they've been perfect little tree decorations. My tree needed a little something. And I didn't realize it, but it needed those little flowers. And now it's perfect, in my opinion. There we go. I love how this flat brush picks up really well. When you do hand lettering, you need to come straight up. When your brush runs out of paint, it needs to come straight up. Don't try to follow through, because all you're going to do is get that Morse code look, and it's going to be really hard like that. See that right there? You're going to get that. So when you follow through, you're going to end up getting that, and it's really hard to cover up when you go to in with your second paint stroke. So come straight up when you feel your paintbrush running out of paint. Like straight up. It's a really hard concept to get a muscle memory for, but when you do, you don't even realize you're doing it anymore. You just know you're coming straight up. And you end up getting cleaner letters. Now when it comes to the end of brush strokes like this, I don't like that. I'm going to come back in with that filbert and do a backstroke. Okay, so that is the entire downstroke. Let's go ahead and pull that filbert in and do all of these side strokes. So I have it on the side, on the chisel, and I'm just connecting the dots. So I'm going to fill this in. Let's see. Connect those two. I am going to use a paint pen with the really thin letters on the bottom. It's just those R's. Something about those R's. Oh, there's my puppy. I heard a car door. So these E's have just a little bit of an over stroke. And I like the look of it, so we're going to keep it. What I mean by overstroke is this right here. It goes through the entire crossbar. Okay. And I think I'm going to leave the black. I really like the black. I'm gonna live with it for a minute. I'm going to let it completely dry down. If I end up changing it, I will definitely let y'all know. I mean, I'll end up posting a picture here in the group. If you noticed, there will be an event for these. And so in the event, you'll see the final picture. You'll have a link to the tutorial itself. So it'll be a lot easier to find all of it as a package. But I will, in my stories for sure, upload a picture of the final piece once it's sealed. Because all this background right here is going to play a beautiful visual dance when we seal it. See, okay, so Maria says she likes the black. Who else likes the black? Oh, Melissa, I wish I could say that was my handwriting. I was just, that was etched. I hate hand lettering. Y'all know me. I cringe when it gets to the part of the words. Mandy says she loves it. Okay. Cindy says it's adorable. Kendria says she loves it. Okay, girl. Kendria. Is it Kendria or is it Kendria? I had a friend that spelled it the exact same way in high school, and she said Kendria, but I heard Marie call you Kendria earlier, and I was like, oh man, I've been mentally saying her name wrong this entire time. Help me out. My great nephew is autistic. I love it. Jerry, did you get all your birthday wishes? We just technically sang you happy birthday in the comments earlier. Peggy loves it. Cindy loves it. Rhonda loves it. I'm leaving it. Kathy loves it. All right, done deal. Erica loves it. Hey, Erica, I like your name too, girl. It pops off the door. Okay, so Terry loves it. Okay, so we're the second way. Kendria. Okay, that's going to be easy for me because it was really hard for me to undo what my brain did. So I was like, okay, I'm saying it right. I was like, maybe I'm really bad with names. So growing up, I wasn't Erica. My name did not have 3 syllables. It had 2. And the first letter in my name obviously was not an E. It was a U. I was called Urka. Everyone called me Urka. And that's how they thought that's how you said my name. So teachers would say Erica, but the rest of the school said Urka. Just like that. Almost like Urkel. Y'all, it was so, and then you knew they were my family if they said Erica Ray. So So I'm really funny about names. I always want to make sure I'm saying someone's name right. It didn't bother me that they said it that way, but I'm just like, man, my name has 3 syllables. Okay, good. Jerry got her birthdays, y'all. Okay, so Debbie likes the black, and her son has Asperger's. Okay, so Asperger's probably is my favorite out of all the entire spectrum. Because I feel like people with Asperger's are the most understood. Are the most understood of everybody. Because I have one family member that does have Asperger's. And then, it's one of those things, I've had people tell me, well, we figured something just was they were just a little different. I was like, absolutely, they're a little different. That's what makes them amazing. And so it always leads me into the conversation of explaining it. They're like, well, that explains a lot. They always seemed a little different. I'm like, absolutely. That's what makes them amazing. And I'm able to go into the conversation of, just because someone's a little different doesn't mean that they're not a flippin' genius, because most people who have Asperger's are so fixated on one thing as a hobby or an interest that they become so fixated on it that they become experts on them. It can be anything from Pokemon. If it's a kid, it's going to be Pokemon. But you know what? That Pokemon obsession becomes an engineering obsession, becomes a mathematic accounting obsession. Because the thing about Pokemon, a lot of kids with Asperger's, especially boys, and if you didn't know, boys have a higher rate of Asperger's than girls. So, if they're interested in Pokemon, then they're not interested in the monsters on the card. What they're interested on are the facts of the personality of that monster, the facts of the points. There's points on that card. They're more fixated on the mathematics and mechanics behind the monster itself. They don't even realize that there is a monster on the card. That's what amazes me. Another thing we have in common, family and friends call me Jerry Lynn. Oh man, Jerry. Like this. My son, who is on the spectrum, is obsessed with Thomas the Train. I'm telling you right now, Thomas the Train is enough. Do y'all have the little train tracks? That's another one of those kid toys that end up being amazing building blocks for some STEM skills. To be a lawyer. I know a lot of attorneys. Y'all remember, I was a paralegal for a very long time. I know a lot of attorneys that have Asperger's. A lot of them. And a lot of good attorneys that have Asperger's. Because they're not fixated on the emotional aspect of the case. They're fixated on the facts, which is what anybody should be fixated on. substantial facts. Yes, we have tracks and trains everywhere. We had a lot of, my son loved those. You and your jalapeno jar, y'all. So I have my jalapeno jar. I've had that jar for years. I love it. It's like the perfect little drinking jar. Don't hate. Appreciate. My nephew has Asperger's. He loves historical facts and can listen to them. Oh, and he can list them word for word. That is impressive. That is impressive. Don't be hating, Lori. Don't be hating on my jalapeno jar. Don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, so let's get our white and black Posca pen. I'm going to use the 5M tonight. Just because this is a pretty chunky design. There's no little dainty parts to it. We have a background and we have 3 big focal pieces. I'm not going to do any drop shadow on this because this black is really wet still. So we're going to just leave it alone. Move everything out of my way because we're going to start rotating this design around. You know me, I am a directional painter, which means it has to be just the right way for me to get it right. Boom. I have to pull it towards myself or it's not going to look right. And even sometimes it doesn't look right then. Oh, you know what we haven't done? We haven't done these words yet. I'm going to need a 3M for that. Let's go ahead and get this part done, and we'll come back and do that. I knew something looked off about it. Has anybody yelled at me about that yet? The words, the words. No, nobody. You're falling down on the job, guys. Never hating on the Erica. Okay, okay. Just making sure. I thought we were friends. Thought we were going to have a little meeting in the back alley of... Okay, so I'm not going to do any outline right here because there's words right there. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to do a little bit there. A little back alley of Facebook Messenger. Lori's another one of my good friends that I have met through my paint studio. She is a member of my paint studio and she keeps me laughing. I have some pretty amazing ladies in that studio. Wouldn't trade them for the world. In fact, this morning we had a little coffee chat. Yesterday morning. My days are starting to run together. Yesterday morning we had a little coffee chat. And I had my jalapeno jar, which is why she's laughing at me. My little jalapeno jar. You notice I'm not getting too close to these letters. I'm leaving them alone. But I do want to make sure that this is highlighted somehow. I'm not going to touch this little curve at all. It's way too close to those letters. It's because I explained the jalapeno jar. I've been having a hard time, drinking enough water and staying hydrated during the day. And the way I can tell is my lips get really chapped. My lips get really dry and chapped. And so that's how I can tell that I'm probably not drinking enough water. Because if I'm not doing anything or going outside and getting windburn or anything like that, my lips shouldn't be as chapped as they are. And so I've told myself I need to drink a little bit more water. So I make sure I have a container big enough and that I know how much water can fit in it. And that's 32 ounces right there. You want to know why? Because I can't get the label off. And it says 32 ounces. And I've had that thing for years. I've tried every trick in the book. In fact, I tried scrubbing this one off. It's been through the dishwasher a million times. I just gave up. I said, okay, you win. I know when to just call a failure. Move on to the next game. Throw in the towel on that one. And because I do so, people like Lori get a little chuckle out of my jalapeno cup. There we go. I'm not going to do any white on that yellow one because it wouldn't show up anyway, so I'm not going to waste the Posca pen. Just made that executive decision on that. Now this, I'm assuming will turn pink when I go to seal it. I don't care. It's no biggie. This one is staying either on my door, my mama's door. Someone in our family is going to get this one. Someone. Okay. That's everything except for these little words. Let me find my little 3M Posca pen. I'm so afraid to use white. Oh, but you know what I can use? And I'm gonna? I have silver, and it works amazingly. I have a silver Posca paint pen. I see your true colors, and that's what I love you. I'm not a singer. Not even admitting to be one. I don't know if that's really showing. It's not really showing up. It'll be the drop shadow then. So I'm just going to go ahead and over paint these, which means I'm just putting okay, so when I've used this on top of black before, and it's amazing. It is the most pigmented metallic pen I've ever used in my life, and I have tried every white and every metallic paint pen that I have had the chance to pick up in all the craft stores, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and so far the Posca metallics on dark surfaces are the bomb.com. I mean, that's not horrible. It's just not bright. I love it. Sherry Ray, you ask Erica, and you just might receive. Uh-oh. I have a niece that has Asperger's, and she is fixated on bugs, but I can't find any templates of bugs. Well, you know what? Hold on. Sherry Ray, hold the phone, girl. Hold the phone. Let me see what I have in the works for the rest of the month, because I know I designed some. Girls in Template Tribe. Have you seen? I know there was okay, there was this one. You can't see it. It was the Firefly one. Oh, that probably hadn't released yet. You got it, Sherry Ray. What's her favorite bug? What's her favorite bug? You know what? April is Autism Awareness Month. I'm going to design her very own bug template. I'm writing this down. What's her name? Give me her name, and I'll make sure that her name is part of the template. I want her name. I want her favorite bug if she has one. If it's just bugs in general, I have a cute one already drummed up in my head. But I'll make her name part of the template. That way it's just for her. And it'll be part of Template to Wednesday release and Erica's Template Tribe next month. Okay, so we need to blow dry that and then go back over it. Actually, while we're waiting on Sherry to give me an answer, let me see what's coming up in April. Can y'all see that? No, you can't. Good. Okay. Do I already have some? I know I've done some, but they may not be in April. I have some that are already drawn up, and they're for other months that are kind of speckled out. But she will get her very own in April. All right, Sherry Ray, whenever you answer me, if anybody catches that comment and I miss it, y'all shoot it over to me in a private message for me if you don't mind. Or tag me in the comment and repeat it for me, because I don't want to miss that and I have it written down. Jared said, oh, Erica just won my heart. She likes all bugs. Her name is Caitlin. Okay, hold on. I don't want to miss that. See, it is Caitlyn. She also has been fighting cancer. Oh my God, don't make me cry. Has a brain tumor and it's going. Oh, Caitlin is getting her own bug template in April. Done deal. Don't make me cry, Sherry. Okay. All right, I got it. All right, like 1,000 little designs just ran through my head. We're good. I got it. Don't make me cry. I'm not a pretty crier, y'all. Don't make me cry. I've already cried on Facebook Live once this week. It was awful. Ashley Rates made me cry. If y'all don't know who Ashley Rates is, love her to death, but she made me cry on Facebook Live, and I wasn't happy about it. Oh, I'm gonna be praying for Caitlin, that baby. I'm thankful she has y'all. That is hard, man. I can't even imagine being the advocate for a baby with Asperger's, fighting cancer. I mean, that is a double doozy. That is one hand of cards that no baby should ever be dealt. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Still don't know if I like the white. I feel like I should go back over it with black, but I'm not going to make y'all go through that 3 times. Okay. So I was already boo-hooing with Erica being her normal, amazing self. Now you just let the waterworks. I'm sorry, Lori. Okay, it's for a good cause. It's for Caitlin. We're going to get Caitlin her own template. All right, y'all ready? It's time for the big reveal. Y'all ready? Okay, let's do this and let's do that. All right. Boom. All right, so do y'all see this? I was so proud. I have to change the subject. Okay, there we go. Do y'all see that splatter paint? Do you see it? I think it really made it pop. I think it really made it pop. Oh, it's like always. I think it's my favorite one. It probably really is my favorite one, legitimately. It probably is. Okay, so the only thing that I think I'm going to leave the letters black, but I do think once the black completely dries, because we did brush letter it on, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to drop shadow with a little bit of white, very hairline of white, and I'll make sure that I post, is that paint on my, no, it's not. I will post a picture and the event on my page and in my stories of this one right here. I absolutely love this one. Oh, so much, says Marie. Jerry says she's praying for Caitlin. I'm so sorry, didn't mean to make you cry. Sherry Ray, it's okay. I know Ray's probably your last name, but because I'm Erica Ray, naturally comes out as Sherry Ray. I'm sorry. It's okay. Now look, Caitlin needs to know that no matter who knows her, someone's fighting for her. And we're all sitting here fighting for her. We're all rooting for her. Tell her that she is loved by 30 extra people tonight. She is loved. I am so sorry. I meant to say, no, hey, I read it. This person would, yeah, no, I got you. From one cancer survivor to another, hang in there, baby girl. Biggest hugs and lots of love to her. Lori says that. Yes, that's an awesome, that's what I was going to say. Oh, okay. Oh, everybody's just pouring out their love for little baby Caitlin. Okay, so here we go. We are going to get this one sealed. Like I said, I'm going to do a little drop shadow. When it's sealed, we'll get a picture up in the event. I'll get this video over to the event, and we will be all fun and dandy. I don't know if you saw my comment. I painted an etched blank for the first time on Monday, and I struggled. It was a learning curve. I didn't know where to paint. Okay, let me show y'all with, let me see. I know I have, let me grab an etched blank. Let me grab one. I know for a fact I've got a million in here. I'm finding everything but etched blanks. I have one right here. Perfect. Okay. With etched blanks. Okay, so there's 2 ways you can etch blanks. Double line and single line. I actually prefer the double line because to get single line, and Danny Bradshaw, totally disregard what I'm about to say because I know you love a single line. A double line, because it keeps a very clean line. It keeps a very clean right angles when you have a right angle. When you do the single line, it kind of distorts the image just ever so slightly, and to most people probably would not matter, but to me it matters because I designed them. And so my brain automatically says, that's off. So I don't like the single lines. They are a little kind of off. There's something a little different about them. Y'all remember that from earlier? There's something a little different about them. And I just don't like the way that I kind of have to auto-correct my paint strokes. So, with an etched blank that has a double line. So, this is only for the double line. Okay, let's take into consideration right there. Okay? That bow. Think of the word. The bow. Okay, so you see the double line there. Paint to the most outer part of the line. Okay, so pretend that the edge of this little circle right here is that outermost line. Okay, that's how you paint. And so for the connector of the bobble, you would paint all the way down here. So if you wanted to paint this silver, you would paint silver all the way to down here. And then your bobble color would start. Okay, so it says, hello, spring. And on the other side, it says, happy Easter. So it says Happy. So see where this H is? So I can just take it down and flip it around. It says Happy, happy. And then this says spring. So it says Easter. How'd you like them Vanna White skills? She did that on a live. I did do that on a live. It was during a craftathon for Cross Country Creatives. It's a group that I'm a part of, and we put on a craftathon once a month. In fact, this month we are going, I think I'm painting on the 20th, if it's a Saturday at 5 p.m. I want to say is the time. Yeah, I think I'm painting Saturday on the 20th at 5 p.m. and I'm painting an Autism Awareness garland. So y'all come hang out with me then. All right. Oh, hashtag Caitlin Strong. I'm loving it. I'm loving everything about this tonight. Y'all, thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me. I do have a couple of little Happy Meals that I want to share with y'all before y'all go, and then we'll end the live. So, if y'all don't know my friend Roxana Griffin with Creations by Griffin, she makes attachments each month. I have two friends that do attachments of the month clubs, and Roxana is one of them. Wanda Sue Manning is the other one. And this is Roxana's this month. And she sent me my little bunny attachment from a porch cleaner out front. And she sends you the Velcro that goes with it. So all you have to do is stick it on there and stick it on your attachment. And then you're good to go for another season. Y'all know me. I still have Valentine's Day on my door. But I'm never out of date with my attachment. And then Dana Bradshaw sent me a sweet letter. And I put in a special request. She makes tea towels. She also does door hangers. And she does really good door hangers. But she makes these tea towels. And she sent me one as a Christmas gift and a Thanksgiving gift last year. And I have been obsessed ever since of having a very pretty tea towel on the bar of my stove. And so I sent her, I was like, I really just need a white generic tea towel. I think I told her this is what I wanted it to say. Either way, it's perfect because I sing this anytime I go, hey, hey, good looking. So she sent me, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? I love it. So Dana, thank you. I did get it and I'm so thankful for it. She surprised me with it because she told me that it wasn't ready and then it pops up in the mail. She said, I don't know, I'm working on it. I'll have it out to you. And then like literally the next day I get it. Just trying. Where do you put your paint marks on etched designs? Okay. I don't follow any lines with paint pens. Some people do, some people don't. Okay, so for lettering, I follow the letters. But for just outlining things, I just kind of let my hand glide. So that's one reason why I rotate the design so that I'm pulling towards myself. I am a sensor. I have very sensory, sensitive things when it comes to writing and drawing and painting. where some people can just put their little pinky down and guide themselves with the pinky. I have to have my whole side of my hand down. I don't know what it is about that side of my hand. This hand goes numb a lot, so I think it's one of those, I have to have the pressure so I know that my hand is straight and that I know that my hand is level with the table. But what I do is I put my hand, perfect. I have a door hanger right here. So I put my hand, let me just put it like that so you can see. Put my hand right next to the shape of the door hanger. So I've got pretty much my pinky outlining, and I just go and I outline it. And I've gotten more confident to where I don't even have to be touching the wood, and I can stay pretty much on the edge of the wood without my pinky touching it anymore. But that's how I stayed, but my lines were really far in, and I didn't like that look. So what I've done is I just got more confident. As long as my hand is flat on the table and I can get a very good, and I'm pulling towards myself, I can get a really good crisp line. I want to, but the April, you want a set of the April garlands? Jerry, if you want a set of the April garland, let me know. Where do you put your paint pen? Okay, okay, so Kim, I answered that. My cute little sign. Oh, okay, so this one. Remember I told you the person who made me cry on Facebook Live this week, Ashley writes? I was at Southern Endurance Live last year. This week last year, right before COVID hit, I was in Nashville and I was at a paint conference and we did a bunch of different crafts. Well, one of them was that, where we used a stencil. She was trying to teach us how to be more profitable by using stencils instead of hand lettering. And it's a lot faster. But she taught us how to make this sign. And I just love it. And so I have 2 mentors, and Ashley is one of them. And that reminds me, every time I look at it, that it's time to get to work, because it takes creativity, takes courage, and it does. And it takes courage to put yourself out here. I would have never become a door hanger designer had I not put out my first door hanger template for someone to look at and judge, because that's what happens every time you put a design out. Someone's judging it. Someone's gonna love it and someone's gonna rave, but then someone's gonna sit there and judge it and say, I wouldn't have used those colors, or I would have put the line here. And I'm like, you know what, that's you didn't design it. And you didn't put yourself out there. So it's one of those things, I had to take the courage. And all the designers out here, we have some amazing designers in our community, and I invest in a lot of them. They take courage to put their artwork out there. You know how hard it is for an artist to put their artwork out for the world to see and say, judge it, and openly judge it in front of me? Like, seriously, put what you think in the comments. That's a hard thing every Tuesday morning. I'm not even gonna lie. I love it because y'all always come with positivity, but there's always that little hairline of doubt in every artist. It's just there. It's human, and it makes you feel like, what if I didn't push the button today? What if I didn't do it today? Well, it takes courage to just do it. And I do it every Tuesday, and every designer does it every time. And every artist that ever puts their work out there to say, hey, look, this is what I did. Y'all remember that meme of the otter saying, look, I've made this? I love it. It's one of my favorite memes. I made this. That's how I feel every time I put something out there. I go, oh, look, I made this. But then there's a little spot back here that says, what if they don't like it? That's them. That's something I had to grow inside of me. Well, that's just them. Not everybody's got to like you. I remember we figured that out. All the garland, all the time, you make the cues. Oh, thank you, Marie. Okay, so I have a bunch of garlands that are ready to go out tomorrow. I have so many garlands. If you ordered a garland between Snowpocalypse and today, it's going out tomorrow. Those were the main, or anything that had a garland in it, because I use a different type of wood for my garlands. That wood was scarce after Snowpocalypse 2021. Like, Louisiana had 0 of that wood. Well, they finally got it back in last week, and I spent my entire weekend, I cut like a mad woman trying to get all those orders filled. So if you have been waiting since Snowpocalypse and today for your garland order, it is going out tomorrow, and that makes me completely caught up. Y'all, Snowpocalypse, shut me down hard. And then the wood was nowhere. We couldn't find any wood. Well, they have promised me that they are back to normal and that we can get back to normal production. So if you're waiting on your order, it is on its way. I promise. Okay, so yes. Okay, so I believe it is the 20th. If that's a Saturday, might be the 21st if it's the Saturday. I'm painting 5 o'clock on the 20th in the Cross Country Creatives group, but also here on my page. So if you come to my page, you'll find it too, but it'll be shared over to the Cross Country Creatives group. The reason we're Cross Country Creatives is one, we were nerds and we were like, that's like the math. C cubed, C3 third power. Like, we were just little math nerds all of us said it at the exact same time. And I was like, but we're all cross country. We have Leanne that's up in Canada. We have Roxana and Francis who are in Tennessee. You have me that's down here in Louisiana. We got some girls over in Nebraska. We got Jennifer over in Nebraska. We've got girls all over the state. So we were like, it's like a little road trip when we do a craftathon. So I think that's what we're going to start calling it, is a little crafty road trip. So we're going to do a road trip on the 20th and the 21st. And I am at 5 o'clock on the 20th. Okay. But what happens when someone asks for constructive criticism and then they get upset for personal opinions that differ from the popular opinion? I hate hitting send when I send that odd one out. Okay, so here's what my opinion on constructive criticism. If you're brave enough to ask to be criticized, you better be strong enough to hear the entire spectrum. Hey, to hear the entire spectrum of the opinions that are going to be given. Don't blatantly ask for criticism if you're not emotionally strong enough in that moment about your artwork. I'm not saying emotionally strong enough as a person, just about, we are very, very fragile creatures when it comes to our art. And I get it, because I am too, but you've got to be strong to hear those opinions. And there's a vast array of opinions out there. There's some designers where it's just not my cup of tea, but it's my paint party people's cup of tea. And so I would invest. I'm like, I wouldn't want to paint that. It's cute, but I wouldn't necessarily, that's not my style, but it's Sue's style and it's Peggy's style and it's Denise's style. I was like, well, I'm investing in them because they're investing in me. And so I'm going to invest in this designer. You know, it's just, when someone asks, hey, how does this look? Or does it need anything? Say thank you when someone gives their opinion. Unless they say, nah, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Just say thank you. So thanks, I'll take that into consideration. It's the perfect response for when you don't like what they said. Thank you so much. I'm going to take that into consideration next time. Then don't. You don't have to use it. Just I'll consider it. No big deal. Take it all with a grain of salt. Yes. You and your pun. I'm on a roll tonight. I've had a good day. It's been a long day, but I had a good day. I want people to tell me the truth. If they don't like it, let me know so I can change it. I want my business to grow. Yes, but hopefully what you do is what people like. And so people come to you because they already like your style. So you're going to very rarely hear, I just really don't like that. So that's the whole beauty of this entire Facebook world. They gravitate towards you because they already saw something that they liked. Whether it be your personality, whether it be your artwork itself, whether it be the way that you splatter paint, whether it be that your positivity, because that's my secret sauce. I refuse to come to you with a bad attitude. If I'm in a bad attitude, I'm going to postpone this live. In fact, I had Lori in general. She goes, okay, we're going live tonight, we're going live tomorrow, because she knows it's all about how I feel. If I'm not going to approach this right here with my utmost for his utmost for your utmost, I'm not approaching it. I'm going to stay my happy little butt on that couch and get my mind right. Because there's no reason for me to come here and bring you down. There's absolutely no reason for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm in my right mindset. And that way you're having a great time. Because the whole thing about art for me is that it's therapy. And if I'm using it as my own form of therapy on camera, that's not very good for you. Because I'm having to work through something. there's no reason for you to have to work through it with me, right? So I need to make sure I'm in my right mindset for me to come hang out with y'all so I don't spread the poison. If that doesn't make sense. I'm hoping it makes sense. Your work is amazing. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Lori, that was wonderful. Every Disney kid just got that. The delivery makes a big difference. Yes, Rhonda. Huge difference. Oh, there's a bunch of hearts, so we have some people that got it. It made sense. Okay, that makes me feel better because it was making sense right here. Okay, girls. Hey, Dawn. Dawn finally caught in with us. Okay, so this right here is going to have to move just a hair back because this arm, I'm way too animated for this tree. So, okay. Y'all remember this? I got this for Christmas and I just couldn't take it down. Marie Mosley. I need to put in an order with you too, boo. I just realized that I have Amy's, but I need a Marie original too. So I need to figure out what I want. I know Marie's still here, so she heard that. Okay. All right. Love you to pieces too, Cindy. Thank you, Lori, for keeping me rolling tonight. Thank y'all for wishing Jerry happy birthday and for giving Caitlin all the prayers. And we are going to get that template for Caitlin for our Autism Awareness April bonus. Because y'all know me, if you're part of Erica's Template Tribe, there's bonuses. I mean, they're released eventually throughout the month. But Template Tribe gets them first. Her personality is contagious. Oh, Wanda. That's the goal. That's the goal. If I can't bring this, then I just need to chill until I can. All right, so Alma, Maria, Wanda, Kendra. Hold on. I done screwed it up again. I have 3 different forms of Kendria. I have Kendria stuck in my head now. Kendria. Girl, we're going to be best friends. I can already tell. All right. Girls, Cindy, Lori, all y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. As always, I look forward to the next time. I love you. Have a good night.